И вновь здравствуйте, господа и дамы, с вами Севен, и мы продолжаем проходить такую замечательную игру, как Face Noir. В предыдущей серии мы с вами нашли на верфи в порту девочку, таинственным образом сидевшую тут, но на самом деле ее принес Шон, и когда-то там, давным-давно, как я уже говорила в предыдущей серии, я перепроходила эти моменты, у меня возникла мысль, что это его сестра, но не попадает, потому что еще когда они работали с Шоном, то есть наш персонаж Джек и, собственно, сам Шон, когда они работали в полиции, уже тогда девочка, то есть сестра, пропала в возрасте 6 лет. А этой девочке сейчас, по-моему, только 6, если она только мега сильно не выглядит младше своего возраста. Не знаю, вряд ли все-таки это сестра. Мне кажется, это кто-то из семьи Валетти, то есть вот из мафиози, из этих, с которыми Шон контактировал.
Good. It's time to test our emergency bridge. Let's get the girl and go. In the balance. I'm always in the balance. Whether it's a whiskey bottle or wooden planks, it makes no difference. My life is always in the balance.
Все-таки хорошие тут монологи. Так, девочка.
She seems to have calmed down now. She's playing with that mouse-shaped doll.
Замурчательно. Пойдемте открывать дверь. Вот, собственно, я дошла ровно до того момента, когда мы расчищаем себе
Boat
путь.
launches that luckily will never see the sea. The wood is starting to rot, and the nails are completely rusted.
После того, что... Точнее, того, что
I don't
будет
see
после
how they
двери,
can be
я уже
useful
не
right
видела.
now. I don't see how they...
Так, ну как ты не видишь? Я вижу, а ты не видишь.
Boat launches that luckily will never see the sea. The wood is starting to rot, and the nails are completely rusted.
Ну,
I don't see how they...
ладно, видимо, не сейчас. Иди двигай бочку.
It probably weighs at least double my weight. It's impossible to move it as long as it's full.
Ну, идем обратно за гвоздями, чё? Все же очевидно. Мне нравятся загадки в этой игре, они очень логичные,
Boat
очень
launches that
правильные.
maybe one of the nails you...
Не делаешь ничего просто так, и не собираешь ничего.
This nail isn't coming out.
Что значит не вытащить? Я в прошлый раз этот вытаскивала. Фига, здесь еще рандом.
The rust doesn't seem to have corroded it completely. It can still be
Вроде бы
used.
этот вытаскивала. По-моему, я этот вытаскивала. Фига. В общем, не важно. Так, ладненько, идем тыкать в бочку. Ну да, как я сказала, мне очень нравятся загадки, потому что они логичны, ничего, никакого мусора с собой не
If I can put a
таскаешь.
hole in the bottom of the barrel, I could empty it. Once it's empty, it shouldn't be a problem to
Да.
move it.
Персонаж сам насмехается над необходимостью собирать весь хлам по
Good.
дороге.
Now I can leave this damn shipyard.
И при этом загадки не являются такими, как бы это сказать, примитивными, глупыми и скучными. Здесь действительно интересно играть, и это здорово. Мы девочку оставили. Ладно, сперва, видимо, к китайцу пойдем.
John,
Oh, you here? Where you go?
nowhere in particular. Start the car. We have to leave quickly.
Quickly! What have happened? You have ended in trouble again?
Enough questions. Get ready to leave. I have to get something from the yard, and then we'll go.
I don't like this. You go to port without girl, and now girl in my cab.
It's not your cab.
Oh, always looking at detail.
Представляете, сколько она
it's not
просидела
normal
там?
find girl at port. At port, they're fish, bull, homeless people, not good.
At the port, you find whatever is left behind. Until now, I found a dead body and a kid. Maybe someone else was luckier.
You need go to police. I don't want to be accused of kidnapping because of you.
Forget the police and drive.
Ah, pointless talking to you.
I've heard that before, but people keep trying.
And you still not tell me where we going.
Someone is looking for this girl, and it looks like they would do anything to get her. Taking her to my house would be stupid. You only need half a brain and a telephone book to figure out where I live. Hence, I need a safe place.
Да,
John, you wait
Герти
here
или
and watch the
Грета, как там
girl.
ее.
Now I be
Ей не повезло.
babysitter?
Right. It'll be good experience for when you have kids.
I already have kids, but they're far away.
You left them in China?
No, Detroit. They have Chinese restaurant.
Whatever. Let's forget about it. Just take care of the girl.
Ну, здорово. Вообще, действительно, сколько эта девочка там просидела? То есть, в час ночи нам позвонил Шон, сказал, мол, приезжай. Мы приехали. Наверное, на этот час где-то убили. Нас арестовали. Мы еще часа два, наверное, проторчали в полицейском участке. Фактически сейчас уже в районе 5 или 6 утра должно быть. Всю ночь эта девочка просидела там. Офигеть вообще.
Greta's place is closed.
Грета.
Greta! Damnation. Greta, answer me.
Who is this?
Greta, it's Jack.
Jack? Do you know what time it is?
I know, Greta, but I need your help.
You can't make up your mind on what brand of whiskey to get drunk on?
It's got nothing to do with booze. Open up.
First, tell me why you're at the door to my place in the middle of the night.
Open up and I'll tell you.
I have no intention of opening this door unless you give me a good reason to do so. What was that?
The reason why I'm here.
Как она
But that's a
услышала?
kid's voice. What trouble are you in?
Let me in and I'll tell you the whole story.
Она
While
в
I'm
машине.
explaining the whole thing, Greta helps me with my busted lip. That ape at the port almost ripped off my whole jaw. I tell her about Sean, the girl, and why I came here. After some convincing, she agrees to take care of the girl. When she's done cleaning me up, she takes the girl upstairs and is kind enough to leave a bottle of whiskey on the table. Ignoring the fact that my cut lip might reopen, I down a few glasses. I need to relax, and nothing relaxes me like a good whiskey.
Нашел время нажраться. Не, ну баба молодец, поняла, когда лучше поставить бутылку бухла и все. И уйти восвоясь. Че?
Come on,
Мы сейчас проснемся в
wake
порту?
up. We
Бухие?
need to get on board.
Что? А, нет, стоп, девочка
Right.
голос Шона.
We have a boat to catch.
Вот этого вы уже, я всего не видела, поэтому, как если что.
It's the car that I came in.
А, флэшбэк, смотрите-ка. Ну, ладненько.
The harbor master's office. Is this where you're bored?
Son, didn't anyone ever tell you to say hello before you start asking questions?
I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, you kids today are always in a hurry. You're always running around and only doing things halfway. Things take time, otherwise you just end up with a bunch of crap.
I'll keep that in mind, but I need to get on board urgently.
Son, I don't know what brought you and that little girl here, but this isn't a tourist port. Only sailors and fishermen leave from here, and you don't seem to be either. If you really need a ship, you can go to Riverside. There, with a couple of bucks, you'll find dozens of well-dressed sailors who will be more than happy to ferry you around the East River and tell you all the juicy details about the city.
I'm not a tourist and I need to leave from here. Now.
The only way for you to leave from here is as a sailor. No nautical documents, no access.
I have to board. It's a matter of life and death.
I'm sorry, but like I already said, without documents, I can't let anyone leave from here.
Forget about it.
Whatever.
Понятно. Так. Мы, по всей видимости, сейчас будем прятать эту девочку, и нам лишний раз покажут, что ж у нас тут есть такое. Странно, она за нее
One
сама
of those
держится.
rods that are used to measure the depth of the water. If I need it later on, I know where to find it. Better leave it here for now.
Ну, хорошо.
These wooden crates seem to contain toys, at least judging by the logo on them.
Давайте позвоним. Это было бы логично.
It's a public telephone. Probably you.
Да, позвони.
It's sad, but I don't have...
Как ты не знаешь? Это что такое? Подожди.
Saint Marie. That's the only thing I can read on this napkin. I can't make out the rest.
Ну, кораблик, вот то, что там затертый.
50 bucks.
Бокс.
John Ford. Born in Portland, 1898. I'd better remember this. It will be my identity for a long time.
Так, документы, да? Наберем документы, пихаем ему в рожу.
Here are my papers.
Что не так?
So your name is John Ford.
Right. A case of homonomy.
What ship do you need to board, John Ford?
Ну, там не то, там, по-моему, затертая буква, там дэшечка на конце была, мне кажется, там какая-нибудь святая русалка или что-нибудь такое.
The Saint Marie. Saint Marie something. I don't remember the whole name.
The Saint Marie de la Mer.
Ну, возможно.
I know that you aren't a
Это
sailor
святая
or a
русалка как-то
fisherman,
не
but
звучит.
at least try to study your part better for the next time, son.
There won't be a next time.
One last thing. The girl's boarding documents are in order, but her name isn't on them. Is she your daughter?
Yes, she's my daughter.
What's her name?
Emily. Emily Ford.
Okay, the documents are in order. The Saint Marie de la Mer will dock in a few hours.
Thanks.
Good luck, son. You'll need it.
Right.
А вот если он ее похитил, да, ну так, если призадуматься, то старичок что-то какой-то вообще неосторожный.
Jack. Jack. Jack.
Ты же сидела за столом.
It seems like my bar is making you sleepy lately.
It was just a few seconds of fatigue.
You were saying a name during your moment of fatigue.
What name?
You were talking about an Emily.
Mm.
Who's that?
No, it's no one. I just had a bad dream. Speaking of which, did you take care of the girl?
Yes. She's sleeping peacefully in my room
Ему
now.
это приснилось?
Maybe you better go to bed too. You're dead on your feet.
I can't leave the girl here and go away.
Calm down. I'll take the opportunity to clean the joint a little. Oh, you should also tell me, what do I have to do with your new friend?
Who?
The Chinese cab driver?
Sean. I almost forgot about him. I'm not crazy about the idea that he might be going around telling half the world that he found a girl at the port. It's not like you could...
Keep him here?
I know I'm asking you a lot, Greta.
Don't worry. I'll keep him here until he wakes up. But you owe me a favor.
As soon as this thing's over, I'll buy you dinner at one of those clubs on the Upper East Side that you like so much.
Sure. Anyway, get out of here before you fall asleep on my bar again.
Хорошо, что у нас дом рядом, да? Точно все нормально?
Jack, go to sleep. You're dead on your feet.
Ну ладно. У меня почему-то такое ощущение... О,
He looks like he's in a deep sleep. Better not wake him up. He can't cause any trouble as long as he's
ой,
asleep.
Грете повезло, да? Ладно, давайте уходим. Домой. Как удобно, да? 2 шага, мы уже дома. Правда, мне кажется, нас сейчас там встретит. О, здрасте.
Good evening, De Niro.
Hi, Slavonsky.
Мы же мы
I
денег
guess you
должны.
got my letter.
Yes. Thanks for your kindness.
Okay, so you know I'm not joking. And I heard about your mishaps tonight. It was definitely a bad night for you.
Where'd you get this information
Мгм,
from?
хороший вопрос.
I always know everything about my renters. I like to know what people who live in my apartment are up to.
Right. No vested interest there.
Exactly, De Niro. If you want to avoid any unfortunate problems, I suggest you pay
У нас
your
как раз
back
есть деньги
rent you owe.
Шона, в
I
принципе.
wouldn't want anyone call police tonight and tell them some bad things about you or your habits.
Are you threatening me?
Absolutely not. But to be safe, you could pay me what you owe me.
I already told you that I'll pay you next week.
Heard that old story too many times, Daniel. I want my money now.
Damn Russian skinflint.
Лихаимец. Надо ж так обозваться-то было. Подавись, гад. Ох, как мы быстро зашагали аж.
Here's your money.
Okay, De Niro. This way we can get back to our pleasant owner-renter relationship, huh?
Keep the money and your pleasant relationship.
Anyway, I want to show you my loyalty to renters. I find out about your misadventures from police detective.
A police detective?
Da, one Ballard. He woke me up in middle of night to ask about you. And when he found you one year, he asked to see your apartment.
Did you let him in?
ЧТД.
And of course, I don't have any intention of upsetting police to protect a renter who always pays late like you, Del Niro.
Why isn't the heat working?
Problems with boiler. It doesn't want to turn on.
Did you call a technician?
Nah, technicians are good for nothing and want much money. Boiler is solid. A few adjustments, it'll be like new.
Until it breaks down again next month. Tell me about this police detective.
What do you want to know?
Все.
What kind of guy was he?
He introduced himself as Detective Ballard of State Police. He was pretty tall, had dark skin, was well dressed. He spoke kind of funny, seemed like a foreigner.
What did he do when he went into my apartment?
And I don't know, he wanted to go in alone, but he was quick. He seemed unhappy when he left.
Dannazione. Malone is trying to frame me. Who knows what that guy was hoping to find in my apartment? I'm not interested in anything else.
Good.
Goodbye, Slavonsky.
Goodbye, Del Niro.
Не. Акцент, конечно, знатный. Так, ну ладно, пойдемте. Посмотрим, насколько все плохо. Вы замечаете что-нибудь?
Useless papers in useless boxes.
Сейчас откроем, а там труп.
A few hours of sleep should get me back in shape.
Ну ладно, сперва сон.
While Emily is asleep in the cabin, I sneak for a smoke on the deck of the boat. We'll be off to Canada soon, leaving New York, Professor Zindler, and this whole mess behind us.
Шо?
We made it. We're safe, I think. But the barrel of a gun between me shoulder blades makes me think otherwise. It's the Turk. He found us. With a sleight of hand worthy of a surgeon, he slides his hand over me holster, puts on the safety, and takes me gun. He pushes the gun into me back and starts talking with that horrible accent of his. He's talking about something, but I'm not listening. I'm too focused on finding a way to get out of this situation. But I can't think of anything. If I make one false move, the Turk will pump my gut full of lead. All of a sudden, fortune smiles on me. A big wave hits the boat, sending it rocking. The Turk loses his balance. A fraction of a second, and I'm on him. His gun lets off a shot. I ignore it. I don't have time to figure out what it hit. I gather all my strength and head for the hold. The Turk falls like a sack of bricks. That should keep him in line for a little while. Grabbing Emily, I get off the boat. They know where I am, and I have to hurry up and run away. I don't have much time. I have to find a place to hide Emily. If the Turk got to me, it won't take the others long to get here too.
Ну идем, чё. В общем-то, несложно понять, куда мы идем, правда? Здесь должно быть открыто.
The door is locked with a padlock, but it's been partly corroded by salt. If I could find something to use as a lever, I could break it.
Так, ладно, мы знаем. Мы все знаем, по идее. Это что такое? Мне кажется, вот та палка бы, с другой стороны, мы бы ее там, наверное, и бросили, мы не стали относительно, значит, скорее всего, это доска.
These warehouses would be a great place to hide Emily.
Нет, я...
I have no...
А, это не доска, какая жаль. А это что такое?
It can't be you.
Почему нет? Ну, пойдемте, заберем, не знаю. Там есть что использовать, но...
Better not. The Turk might not be alone.
Наверное, что-то в ящиках валяется или около них.
One of the jetties collapsed.
Ну ладно. Ладно, что тут есть? Может, я что-то на пирсе проглядела? Нет, туда вообще не пойти. Значит, что-то тут.
These wooden crates seem to contain toys. I can't hide Emily.
Почему это? Рычаг. Так, может здесь надо что-то
This
делать?
part is...
А, вот. Вот что надо было сделать, все нормально.
I was able to get a part of the plate off.
А, смотрите, смотрите, он уже окровавлен. Нелогично.
The door's locked with a padlock. The padlock is corrupt. If I could find something to use as a lever, I could break it.
Ну, сейчас вот возьмем, сломаем.
By using that piece of metal as a lever, I should be able to break the padlock. One good hit and the lock breaks without any problems. I try to get Emily to enter the shipyard, but she's afraid. I put one of my darts around her neck and I tell her we're playing a game. I'll count to 30, she has to hide, and I'll come looking for her. I'll whistle every now and then with my horn, and she has to do the same when she hears it. I tell her to never come out of her hiding spot because I have to find her. If she hides well, I'll give her a toy all for herself. Emily heads for the shipyard. From her eyes, I can see she didn't buy the story about the game, but she knows she needs to do it. The kid's on the ball. The hole in my lungs was getting worse and worse. It's starting to get hard to even breathe. With my last bit of energy, I head towards the entrance. I get to the outside telephone near the harbor master's office and I call the police. Their intervention won't help much, but at least it will put a lot of people on guard and that will put the brakes on the Turk's friends. Then I call the last person I ever thought could help me, Jack. I cover the telephone with a handkerchief so he doesn't recognize my voice. If he knew it was me, he'd never come. The telephone starts ringing and someone picks up on the other end. It's Jack answering. I make up the first lie that comes into my head to get him here. Halfway through the telephone call, the lines dropped. They cut the electricity in the telephone lines. They're here. I did everything I could, but now all that's left is to wait for the end. And I certainly don't want to do it here. If I have to die, I want to do so somewhere decent with the sound of the waves in my ears and the sight of the moon slashing through the rainy sky. Yes, it's a good place for a goodbye.
Бедный чувак. Вот так умереть, да, в одиночестве под дождем. Не знаю, получилось ли у тебя сделать благое дело или все-таки нет.
Dannazione. I keep having these dreams.
Умереть без
If you
облегчения,
could
что
call them
называется.
dreams. They're so real. The port, the girl, Sean, and then that hitman, that Turk. It all seems to match. How is that possible? How can a dream be so real? How can a dream explain things I don't know?
Да, хороший
Maybe I
вопрос.
better knock it off with the questions and get up. I must have slept a couple of hours. That's more than enough for a hardened insomniac like me. Come on, Jack. The night's still young, and there are people out there who would love to see you dead. And maybe one of them is the guy who last night was pretending to be Inspector Ballard. I'd better ask Slavansky a few more questions.
Так, аппетитно как... О, слава богу, сам включил. В общем, ладно, давайте на этом завершим серию. Потом, я так думаю, имеет смысл пройтись чуть-чуть по комнате, так потыкать, посмотреть, может, что пропало. А потом уже пойдем со Славански балакать. Ну и зайдем в красный тюльпан, ясное дело. В общем, надеюсь, что эта серия вам понравилась. Начинаются какие-то странные вещи, какие-то телепатические, какие-то, я не знаю, точнее, ой, почему телепатические, это что-то я не то говорю. В общем, какое-то ясновидение начинается, и это странно. Да, напоминает один фильм, название которого я сейчас не упомню. По-моему, как же оно? Я не помню. Короче, неважно. Там, где Джонни Депп играл, и там, где история про Джека Потрошителя, по-моему, вот это вот. Там у него были приходы, связанные с опиумом, но нет, неважно. Мы опиум вроде не принимаем, но что-то у нас такие же приходы. Как бы там ни было, если эта серия вам понравилась, обязательно ставьте пальцы вверх, оставляйте комментарии, подписывайтесь, если вы здесь впервые, зовите друзей. Всем огромное спасибо за ваше внимание. С вами была Seven. Всем удачи и пока-пока.